Feast.
Choice feast.
We have, there was an email that was sent out yesterday that said that the schedule was off. So we have, there's no service this Wednesday. I think it had listed that there was a Alcathist and a Bible study, but there won't be, just so you're aware, for people that are at home. And we'll resume the normal schedule of having a Wednesday service after this week. But the weekend should be the same. Divine Liturgy on Saturday morning, Great Vespers Saturday evening at 5, and then Orthros and Liturgy on Sunday morning, beginning at 8:30. Although sometimes I think we may have to begin at 8:20 because we always go overtime. I don't know so people don't necessarily notice, but we go overtime. And well, I think that's it for announcements. We are in process of trying to plan for our general meeting, our parish assembly, which will have to be sort of modified this year, kind of a hybrid parish assembly. We'll have as many people here as we can, maybe meet in the courtyard. We'll try to keep the meeting brief, but it'll be important to review the parish budget for the coming year and ask for the parish's, approval and also any recommendations regarding that. And then there'll be a couple other things that we'll share with you about stuff that we've been working on. We're going to try and keep it as simple as possible because it'll sort of be we have to figure out how to do a hybrid meeting where we have some people here and then some people at home probably on their computers. And the logistics of that is a little tricky, making it work. We'll do the best that we can, and so have that in mind for November, probably sometime in the first couple weeks of November to have that meeting. And there are some things that are going on with our archdiocese that you may or may not be aware of, but it's good that you should be aware of. The current charter and uniform parish regulations of the Archdiocese, they've been slightly amended over the years, but we basically, I believe, had the same one for 20 years. And obviously, the picture of what the church looks like in the United States has changed a lot in those 20 years in terms of administration and different aspects of the life of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese here. And so the Patriarchate made the decision to, they said, put in abeyance our current charter, which means that it's suspended, with the caveat that until there's a new charter, everything will continue as it has. But they put it in, they suspended it and are developing a new charter for the Archdiocese. This could mean we'll have to wait and see what it looks like. There are representatives from our archdiocese in the United States that are part of the conversation, as well as our hierarchs, and then also the Synod in Constantinople is discussing these things. And His Eminence, Archbishop Epiphoros, in speaking about this, spoke about how it was basically a way to deal with administrative and other visionary issues, things that have to do with the mission of the Church in the United States that need to be adapted more to our current situation. His Eminence, our Metropolitan, Gerasimos, in speaking with us about it, he actually said that he felt this was an exciting opportunity in the life of our church to kind of like update the charter. It doesn't affect, and you have to understand, the church is governed by the teaching of the apostles. That's what we're about, to keep it, and that's part of our current charter, to keep and preserve and practice the Orthodox faith pure and undefiled. Like, that's what we're about. But then in terms of how different regions relate to each other, how the metropolitans relate to each other, sort of the structure of their synod, all of these other things, they're administrative issues that the Patriarchate felt there was a need to update these things and to kind of reconsider the way that things currently are in order to better serve the current population in the United States. And so that's in progress, and we'll hear more as the weeks go by, I'm sure. And as I said, the current charter was suspended, but for the time being, everything is just operating as it always has for the past 20 years under the previous charter. So placing it and suspending it was essentially, that's the first step when you start to formulate a new charter, to suspend the old one. So just so you're aware, that's a major thing that's happening in our archdiocese. Yeah, go ahead.
Does this have, so this is strictly administrative, or does it have to do with Tibicon as well? Or maybe?
Probably just administrative. Because the Tibicon is something that we inherit from the Constantinople, it's kind of, what is it called? I'm drawing a blank. I have to go back to my seminary days to remember. So the Tibicon refers to the order of service, like the way that we serve the Divine Liturgy, Orthros, Vespers, all of, so every year the Patriarchate will publish the Tibicon, sort of the rubrics that will tell you, so okay, on May 20th, when you serve Vespers, these are the hymns you're going to sing, this is how it's going to be done. And that's actually very old. It's not something that anybody messes around with or changes. And so that's not really part of the purview of the Archdiocese Charter. Like that's not like it doesn't contain any information about stuff like that.
Okay.
That's stuff that comes from directly from the Synod of Bishops and has to do with, the tradition of the Church. The Charter has more to do with, if you think about like how the parish relates to its metropolis, so our bishop is in San Francisco. So what's our relationship there? What's our responsibility financially there? What's our, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And if a parish were to be formed and request a priest, like let's say there were a bunch of people somewhere, in Wyoming, and let's say there were 30 or 40 families and they wanted to start an Orthodox parish there, the Orthodox people, they could ask the archdiocese, can you, whatever the local diocese is or metropolis, and they could ask, could you send us a priest? And so there's a process to do that. And stuff like that is outlined in the charter, So it has to do with a lot of administrative things. Hopefully, it's possible that it will be updated in such a way to reflect a greater unity amongst jurisdictions in the United States, and maybe an invitation to that. I don't know. That could be part of what's going on. So I could be, I could be like hopeful about that. That there would be a call to better, because I know the Assembly of Bishops as well just kind of like updated their focus, in terms of being more about like higher and greater collaboration with one another across jurisdictions. So we'll see. That's all I could say about it, but you should know. Like, this is information that you should know. So God bless you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and you can come forward to receive Andidaron.